What is up, everybody? I hope you are having a fantastic evening. Another loss, another film review, an awful film review. But it is what it is. This is the life we live being a 49er fan at this point. It's insane. But here we go. I do need you to put in the chat, though. Do you want to watch the offense or do you want to watch the defense? And I'll let people get in here and we'll put it to vote a little bit, but I am curious to see what you all want to watch. If you want to watch the offense or the defense, either way, it's not going to be pretty. Let's hit this intro and we'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to Last Second Sports. We are giving you our take down to the last second. And as I said, it is a film review Monday. Question is what film do we review? Do we want to watch the offense or do we want to watch the defense? And that's going to be up to y'all. Before we get into it, Spidey G does have a question. Says, Jesse, I've got a question right off the bat. Why didn't Kyle take the ball after winning the coin toss and try to play with the lead and go up 7-0, knowing he had a backup quarterback in Lambeau? 49ers rarely take the ball first. They usually want to have it in the second half, which is understandable. I actually would prefer to have it in the second half. So, yeah, but that makes the Super Bowl decision even more curious. Why then did you take the ball to start the overtime period? Especially if you knew the rule. And you always want the ball second to start games. You would think that that would carry over in the Super Bowl anyways. I digress. But yeah. Moonman says the worst film over 5 years that I've seen. I've seen Already Man. That D was bad. The O-line was bad, bad, bad. Don't make me watch this game again. Hey, if y'all don't want to watch the game, we don't have to watch. Have to watch the game. I know. It's like what I do though is we do the reviews together on Monday. Why you gonna put yourself through this by watching the tape, bro? I know. Should we watch the Buffalo Bills versus Kansas City instead? Would that be better? Should we watch Buffalo versus Kansas City? I want to watch the offense first, more specifically Kyle Juice. Let's not and just talk ish for an hour. We can talk ish for an hour. Chargers. I don't think the Chargers are going to beat the Ravens today. I don't. This game went exactly how I thought it'd go. Yeah. Totally understandable. Listen, let's watch a little. Let's watch the first quarter of the defense. How about that? JT O'Sullivan is Brandon Allen QB school. I'll be there for that no matter what. Yeah, for sure. He definitely probably should be. Let's watch the defense. Let's just watch the first quarter of the defense. We might as well put ourselves through it, huh? What's going on, too, by the way? Lenore had an MRI on his knee. Pooney had an MRI on his shoulder. That's not good. I was thinking this game they might get Greenlaw back, Ward. I think Ward's assuredly going to go. I think Trent's going to go. I think Brock's going to go. Greenlaw's maybe. Bosa's a maybe. But now they got Lenore and Pooney with issues. I don't know. It's pretty bad. Yeah, I know, Keith. Listen, I feel like we should really just watch it so that we can get through it. I'm the type of person that's some people are weird like that. I'm actually not this person. I have my sister is like this, which is really weird. But you ever go to a funeral, a family member or something? Some people are all about the open casket. Like, I just got to see them one last time. I can't. No, thank you. I'm good. but know plenty of people that are open casket type people. Not me. This is the open casket of the 49ers season right here. Right here. We're going to watch it. The open casket. They're dead. We know that they're dead, but we're going to watch it because I don't know. It's what we do on Mondays, I guess. All right, let's check it out. Right away, they come out throwing too. I do want to see this because I did feel like for the first time all season long, the 49ers were mixing up their coverages and showing things pre snap and rolling coverage post snap, which is not what they've done. So I did appreciate that. Like right here, already, first snap, you see it. Look at Mustafa. Look at this. You're already seeing a little movement on the defense. God, if they honestly, look at this, they had just thrown a screen pass here. But you're already seeing movement on defense. That's good. That's good. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Slow motion it. Slow motion for me, huh? Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Oh my gosh, dude. Hold on a second. Play it at normal speed. And then we'll slow motion it. Just dominated on the line. That's not good. How far downfield was he? Or contact was actually made? Let's see. Five, 6 yards downfield before anybody even made contact. That's a great start. Great start. Yes, we do. We Hugo, we need to see this. We need to see this. That was good. They did good there. Wasn't bad, huh? It's not all bad. Some of it's fine. You know who I do want to watch is Fred. I've had a lot of people telling me he's struggling big time. And I'm the one that pulled the stat that going into this game, he had allowed 30 straight completions through the last 6 games. I want to see what he looks like. What does Fred look like? So let's just watch Fred Warner for a quarter here. Hold on a second. Why are they in nickel? Why are the 49ers in nickel? You're just asking to be ran on at this point. Yeah, of course. Of course they're going to run on you. Are you kidding me? Why? That's a great play, by the way. And he was, let's see. It's hard when you're, I don't know, 7, 8 yards downfield before you even get touched. Brutal. Brutal. This is so nasty. What? Hold on a second. Okay. All right. You got 3 receivers. At least you're matching up now, going in nickel. That's a little bit more palatable. Season's over, especially with the schedule. They will have to beat Buffalo. Yeah, they do have to beat Buffalo. They're not beating Buffalo. I don't see it. It's supposed to snow, by the way, in Buffalo. For those of you wondering, there is snow in the forecast Sunday and Monday. It's a Sunday night game. Buffalo coming off a bye. Even if we get all the players back, which is possible, we'll be getting a lot of players back. A lot of good players coming back potentially for the 49ers. I don't think them at full strength can beat Buffalo. I just don't think the 49ers are a good team right now. And I don't think health is the main reason why. I think in this game, that was certainly an issue. But this was like over the top health issues. But the rest of the season, it's been manageable. They just aren't good. They just aren't good. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Let's watch Fred on this one. Let's see how he does. Hold on a second. Goodness sakes. I don't understand why the 49ers are staying. Here we go. And too high after watching themselves get gutted. I don't understand it. Unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense to me. But here we go. We're in one high now. So now they're in one high. And they're not nickel, which is great. I mean, when the personnel matches up, they've been pretty decent thus far. Right? When their personnel is matched up, they've been pretty decent, I feel like. Am I tripping? Dale says mental health is a problem. I know. I don't know. I don't know what are you talking about, my mental health? Are you talking about our mental health, their mental health? I don't know. Whose mental health are we talking about? But mental health is certainly a problem. I agree. Yes. I just don't know who we're discussing here. All right. Once again, 49ers are in base. This makes sense. But 2 high safeties. Not a fan of 2 high safeties. There was a penalty on this one, I remember. But Okay. They're nickel, which matches the personnel. Got it. Look at the I'm sorry. I get they're from the same coaching tree. How impressed are you with the creativity of some of these plays we've seen already? I- It's impressive. We've already seen two very creative plays, and they've both worked very well. And this is just the first drive. Mitch isn't even playing, Sir Cash Money. The best player on the team isn't even playing. Fair. It's fair. I mean, they're already way more creative than anything the 49ers have done. This is crazy. That's just wow. Such poor tackling. Oops. So, okay, so you're in nickel. You're matching the personnel, one high safety. I mean, everything is good here except for you just can't tackle. You see that too? Took this from the Chiefs game. Look at I think that's Reed. Look at 11. Watch him. Little cheap motion back. And then they ran the screen away from it. Yeah, that's a complete rip off from the Chiefs. But it's worked. So why wouldn't you? It worked again here. They just didn't go to the motion. Unbelievable, man. How many guys? Jeez. All right. Okay. Once again, base formation. I like that we're in one high here. Feel like we can stop the run here. Feel like this is good. Do like this. All right. They're not running, so it doesn't matter. But the personnel matched up great. Okay. We're in nickel. Not a fan of being a nickel here. Not going to lie. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You've got a tight end, two running backs, two wide receivers. Feel like this is asking to get ran on, but what do I know? And they did. They did. I feel like this is half the battle right now. Is the fact that they're just not even matching personnel with personnel. Gosh, the creativity of the run plays is insane. See, I wouldn't have. This is why we watch, because I wouldn't have known this just based off the game that they just weren't even matching personnel at a high level. I mean, you're running. How many times have we seen it now? And every single time that they've been mismatch on personnel, it's screwed them. Absolutely screwed them. Okay, we're in nickel again. There's three wide receivers. Okay, that's fair. But we're in too high. Although it's probably I think it's might be third down. Let's see what it is. Oh, third down and 1 though? Yeah. I wouldn't be in too high here. I wouldn't be in too high. Third down and 1? I mean, it's guys, you know this. I am no film expert, okay? But if I can tell you that it's not going to work based off your personnel or your the way that you're setting up your defense, whether you're going middle field, close or open, that's a problem. And if I see that, what do you think the Packers saw? This is just awful. Here we go again. 49ers in nickel with only two wide receivers on the field, two running backs, and a tight end. And to boot, there we go. At least somebody's walking down. But it's just, dude, what do you think was going to happen? I got to get this take off real quick. That's crazy. This is insane. This is crazy. Let's watch it again. Let's see. We're going to do this the whole time. Once again, they are in nickel with two wide receivers on the field. Every time we're batting 1,000 right now. Every time we've called it out, which is like 6 or 7 times, where they've had the wrong personnel grouping or it's a short yardage situation and they're playing middle field open, two high safeties. They've been gashed every single time. And what the hell is Fred Warner doing right there? Dude, nice, Fred. Nice. But the what is what? All right. Playing nickel here. Obviously, you got three receivers. No issue. You just got beat on that. That's just bad angles and confusion. Really. Watch right here. Look at the confusion when he goes in motion. Watch the confusion. You get two people leave, and that's the edge that they run to. Look at both of these guys. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Yeah. I mean, it just, that's awful, but for a different reason, not the personnel grouping. That was just a miscommunication, and they happen to run to that side, which makes it even worse. But at least they got the personnel grouping right, huh? First down and 10. Okay. You're in base. Although, once again, 2 high safeties. I would run on this if I was Green Bay, but we'll see what they do. Yeah, Winters makes a hell of a play there, but Green Bay saw it the way that I saw it. Too high? We're running. We're running. Now Brown does creep down here when they see motion. So actually a pretty good play call there by the defense. And then Winters just makes a really good play shooting the gap. But when the personnel groupings have been there, it hasn't been bad. It hasn't been bad. Here we go. We're in base. Totally fine with this. This is what they should be in. Okay. They're down to 9. Obviously, we're going to be a nickel here. Or dime, it looks like. They're in dime. Oh, no, they're in nickel. I've never understood this. Teams do this so much, and it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Dude, you're 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. You're just wasting a player when you do stuff like this. When you delay blitz from this far away or just even blitz from that far away, they obviously make it in. It was a good blitz up, but they didn't need Mustafa to blitz from 6 yards away. In fact, him blitzing, if they have the right, if they had a hot called right here, like if one of these guys would have just crashed over the middle, they would have gashed the 49ers right there. Mustafa doesn't need that. It literally did nothing. Mustafa blitzing does nothing for them. Nothing. It literally does nothing. It just takes them out of the play. And again, it worked. Sure, nitpicking, whatever. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 anyways. They already blew it. It's just, I don't know, whatever. Anyways. Base personnel, 2 wide receivers. Perfect. It's just awful angles. They're lucky he slipped. Trade call for a cucumber. Nice. I don't know, man. Cucumbers can coach sometimes. Cucumbers can coach. Okay, here we are. We're in nickel. 3 wide receivers. No issue with this. Let's just see how many times they match the right. Oops. Okay. Oops. 3rd and 11. Obviously, we're going to go nickel there. Okay. We're in base. They're in base. Does it just get better throughout the game and it's totally fine? It was just the first quarter when we, of course, missed 10 tackles. Like, do they actually match 2nd and 10? We're in nickel. Here you go again. We're in nickel. They're in base. And too high. I bet you they should run here. We'll see what they do, but they should run here. Mind you, I have not watched the film at all. But it's like obvious what a team's going to do when that's the look that you're giving them. You're daring them to run, and they're running very well. Luckily, you don't get gashed horribly there, but you do give up, 5. Obviously, we're going to be in nickel here. It's third down. Got it. Okay, we're in base. They're in base. Great. And only one high. We should be able to stop the run here. Oh, look. Oh, look. They did. Okay, 49ers are a nickel. They got 3 receivers. This makes sense. Once again, personnel groupings. Who's this guy? Look at this guy. He's focusing the camera. Look at this. Look at this guy. Who is this guy's hand? Who are you? Who are you? That's funny. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. This is third down. Of course, they're going to be in some sort of nickel situation here. Okay, 49ers in base. They're in base. Much better this time. Your back's against an end zone, which is like an extra defender. You shouldn't be too high here unless it's third down. Last time they were in too high and they got gashed for it. At least this time, the personnel and the game plan is decent. See what they do here. Okay. Oh, this is the 12-man. Nice. $12 men on the field. Yada, yada. 12 men on the field. Yada, yada. Got it. Great. Now we're going 5 down linemen. Which is fine. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what they do here. But I feel like just running up the left side seems about right. It's pretty obvious. Like, why wouldn't you run it to the left with that formation? Gosh, man. My gosh. All right, let's go to the next series here. Okay, they got 3 receivers. How much time is left, actually? Where are we at? Oh, yeah. Minute. Okay, of course. Let's get to the second half. I just want to see. Gosh, that was such a good throw. Such a good throw for it to be dropped. $50 yards on a dime. That's funny. And then he just like, I'm just going to throw it deep a million times. Okay. think we're starting the second half here. Looks like we're in nickel against base personnel. Run all day. That's what you should do. That's what they will do. Now we're in base. They're in base. Oh, man. One of the million. Okay, first down. Let's see. We're actually in base. Should be able to stop the run pretty good here if they do run. That was just an athletic play by Watson. Anyways, I think we get the picture, right? 49ers issue started before the missed tackles. 49ers issue started way before the missed tackles. It was all based off personnel. Especially in the first quarter. It was awful. Sir Cash Money says, I feel bad seeing you put yourself through this film review, but buy yourself something nice after this. Something nice, not expensive. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. That's awesome. Jeff says, thanks for this, brother. Hey, thank you. But this is it, right? This isn't a shock. We're watching these personnel groupings, and it's so clear why they are struggling to stop the run. You were almost guaranteed to give up 5-yard runs, even if you tackled perfectly. When you're going nickel and middle field open against 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a tight end, it's just so obvious. So obvious. I want to know what your thoughts are on let's assume health is as good as it can be this week. Let's say Demo and Pooney's MRI comes up negative. They're able to play this week. They get Greenlaw, they get Brock, they get Bosa, they get Trent, they get Ward back. Everybody on this team that is good is playing, other than obviously we know Ayuk and Hargrave are done for the season. Let's say everything goes perfect. Do you think they beat Buffalo? Because I don't. I don't. They ditched Wilkes. No idea why. They can't even match and scheme a decent defense. Kyle's weakness has always been making adjustments. Frankly, I'm tired of that being a weakness. Allen versus Allen. Hell could freeze over. The Niners are not winning in Buffalo. Every NFC West team will lose next week. I don't think so. I don't think Seattle's losing to the Jets. And I don't think the Rams are losing to the Saints. But maybe. Like let's go in order of most likely and least likely to win. So I think most likely to win would be the Rams versus the Saints. Well, I don't know. Seattle versus the Jets is pretty. I think both of those are most likely to happen in the division. But I think the Cardinals have a better chance to beat the Vikings than we do the Bills. I think we have the least amount of chance to win in the whole NFC West this week. Adam K says, would you accept a trade for Kyle if the Giants offered Andrew Thomas? Neighbors And a third of yeah, yes, of course, yes. Yes, of course. That's a no-brainer. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Larry's telling people they are morons for saying fire Kyle. Listen, I've said not to fire Kyle. I still do believe that just because they've got to go through a major retool right now. And I don't think the new coach should come in and deal with the last year of BS that they're going to have to go through before I think they can turn a corner. And whatever, but no, I don't think people are idiots for saying it. I guess my issue is acting as if fans can't be upset with this team and how they've played. That's my issue. Like carrying water for these people for what? I mean, I'm not saying fire Kyle, but I'm certainly very critical, very, very critical of Kyle. And to act as if we can't be frustrated as a fan base and you can only say positive things is just, I don't know. That's a weird. And I'm not even saying I don't know what Larry said or didn't say. I'm just going off your what you had posted. But my issue is more with people saying that you can't vent or be upset. Larry's a pretty emotional guy. I feel like he probably is going off on Kyle a little bit too. He may not be saying fire him, but hey, I bet you he's blown a gasket or two since that game. I'd be shocked if he hasn't. I'd be shocked if he hasn't. Will the NFC winner be the 3 or the 4 seed? Because Tampa, with a soft schedule, could go 11-6 and get 3. I don't know. Yeah, I would think. I don't know that an NFC West team is going to reach 10 wins. So if Tampa or the Falcons can get to 10, then obviously the Niners would be the 4 seed. Not the Niners. Whoever wins the NFC West would be the 4 seed. So, and then that means you're playing Minnesota round 1. Minnesota round 1 at home is very possible. Very, very possible. If this were NASCAR and the driver kept getting second place, would you fire the driver or the crew chief? It's interesting. I'm not a big NASCAR person, but I think I know where you're going with that. Xavier Thomas says NFC West the worst division in the NFL right now. I agree. And I think 9-8 wins the division. I think 9-8 wins the division. And the 49ers are the 49ers even going to get to 9 wins at this point? They have to go 4-2 down the stretch. They now have 3 games coming up in 11 days. Right? Am I right about that? 3 games in 11 days starting this week. You're going to travel to Buffalo, who's coming off a bye. You're going to play the Bears at home, and then you're going to play the Rams at home. They have 3 games in 11 days coming up. And then, is it Miami after that? Then Buffalo? I always get this mixed up. Let's see. I think it's Miami, then Buffalo. And I don't know that Miami's a for sure win. Yeah, it's Miami. Or I said Buffalo. I meant Detroit. Miami and then Detroit. Yeah. I mean, honestly, looking at these games, can we say without our homer glasses on that the 49ers are for sure going to win any of these games? I mean, Chicago's a blocked field goal and a Hail Mary away from 6 wins. Last play of the game, they lost on a Hail Mary, and then the next week lost on a blocked field goal on the last play of the game. Are we really even better than Chicago at this point? I would like to say yes, but I can't confidently say that. I don't know that the 49ers can go 4-2 down the stretch to get to the 9 wins that are probably going to be necessary. I think at best we're looking at 3-3 down the stretch. Like it's starting to look likely that they don't even get over 500 this year. Jeff says if they play the way they used to play when they were trying to earn contracts, if special teams doesn't screw up and Kyle plays Mason, they can win. Do you think any of that's going to happen? I don't. I mean, do you remember before this week started that Lenore came out and said, now we're pissed. Now we're pissed and the NFL has to feel their wrath, basically. That was the wrath. 38-10 was the wrath that the league has to feel. I don't think they're turning anything around, man. I don't. Adam says Kyle's message is lost. His personnel decisions are awful, and his play calling is a disaster. Think like a CEO. You've seen the pattern, and it's clear. Things aren't getting better this year or beyond. I was talking to Coach before I went live, and he asked me a question. He says, when is the next time you think the 49ers win a playoff game? Just trying to future cast, like looking at, because right now, I think the sentiment with 49er fans, at least that I've seen, is this is 2020. 2020 all over again. They'll bounce back next year. Everything's going to be fine next year. They'll be healthy. They'll roll into the playoffs and they'll do what the 49ers do. That's what I'm gathering from 49er fans on social media. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way at all. I told Coach that I don't think they win another playoff game until the 2027 season. They might make the playoffs. They might sneak into the playoffs. But I genuinely don't think they win another playoff game until 2027. I'm looking at the contract situation. I'm looking at players that you're going to have to get rid of and shed their cap over the next couple of years, and how you're going to take massive cap hits for these guys because you kick the can down the road repeatedly. And because you didn't trade these guys at the trade deadline, who wants to trade for Deebo Samuel? You're just going to have to eat that contract. Who wants to trade at CMC at that level or that salary, or Hargrave? You're going to have to eat these contracts. Trent will eventually retire, and there will still be money on the books for him because of the way the signing bonus was structured. I don't see this team just marching into the playoffs next year and everything's going to be fine. I don't see that. Sir Cash Money says, Jesse, have we tried throwing money at our problems? That's usually worked in the past. Yeah, I think they have tried. I do. I don't know. I mean, obviously we're talking years ahead, but dude, I genuinely, it's how I feel. And I know I was crazy when I said that the vibes were off in training camp. And when I said in February, a week after the Super Bowl, that they should retool then. And at 3-4, I was crazy when I said it then. But all that seems right now. And I just don't get a good feeling that this thing's going to turn around next year. I don't. I mean, and let's just look at our division right now. Let's realistically look at where the 49ers are going. The 49ers are expensive. They're about to give a quarterback big time money. They haven't had draft picks really in early rounds, or in the first round rather, for a few years up until this last year. They've got aging players that they've got to shed cap on. They've got a ton of free agents. And then you look at the Seahawks, for example, who very, very young defense, relatively young offense, actually. Geno's not great, but he's half the price of what Brock's probably going to be. And then you've got a young, innovative head coach who's, look at their defense since the bye. They're starting to figure it out already in year one. I mean, that's only going to improve. And we know that he's very, very good defensively. He's a very, very good coach schematically on defense. And now you've seen it for 2 weeks where they bottled up the 49ers and they bottled up the Arizona Cardinals in back-to-back weeks. They're starting to figure it out a little bit. I mean, I feel like Seattle, at the very least, is doing a slight uptick. And I feel like we're going like this. I mean, at some point, I know we started here and they started here, but they're going to cross paths and we're going to do this and they're going to do this. And then let's look at Arizona. Very, very young team. I mean, if they make the playoffs this year, they're a year ahead of schedule. They shouldn't have even been thinking about the playoffs until next season. They need one more draft on that defense to really put it into place before they should even think playoffs. The fact that they led the division this far into the season is concerning for the rest of this division because they shouldn't have been here yet. They were a year away from that. Should have been a year away from that. Now we'll see. They may just fall off the cliff and everything will even itself out. But they're possibly a year ahead of schedule. You give them with that young group, you give them another year. They got a ton of money to spend. Again, same thing. Eventually it's going to cross. The 49ers got to tear it down a little bit and then rebuild, which means you're a year or two around behind at least two teams in the division as far as what that looks like. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And I hope this is a random Monday night vent sesh that I changed my mind on and I'm just frustrated in the moment. But in this moment, I don't think they're winning a playoff game for a few years. Spidey G says, hold on. Jesse, the only way the 49ers will contend before 2027 is if they go on a 2011 New York Giants run in 2025 or 2026. Yeah. This guy says, respectfully, need a rebuild. Need a rebuild team. As I've mentioned for quite a while, it's out of sync. Been showing signs for the last few years. Can blame whoever, but Kyle has control mostly. Team is not a team. You know what's crazy is a lot of people act as if we have revisionist history, but I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of people, I've said it, and a lot of people within my chat have echoed this and been frustrated when this team was winning and acting the way that they acted. The arrogance and all of it. It's like, man, that's not a good. It's just not a good look. That to me is a team that's not under control. When it happens over and over and over and over. And now that the 49ers are losing and we continue to call it out, people are like, well, I mean, easy to say now. Like, no, we've been saying this the whole time. This is not Johnny come lately. We've had the issue. It's just now you are noticing it and having an issue with it. I had somebody tell me 2 days ago. I said, "Yeah, I think you guys know Brian Peacock, right? Locked On 49ers. He had made a post about the injuries and how injury riddled they've been or whatever. And I said, I hope this is not the 49ers mentality, because if it's the 49ers mentality, then we're going to be stuck with a lot of these players going forward. The 49ers mentality needs to be, we're not good enough. How do we actually get better and younger and do this fast? And somebody said, oh, I mean, easy to say now that they're 5-6. And I'm like, I said this after the Super Bowl. No, you didn't. No way you did. Okay. And then I showed him the video of me saying it after the Super Bowl. It's funny how people, I feel like there's no forward thinking sometimes. And I've always been this way as a fan. When I was a kid, I used to like count how many more years I thought that Steve Young and Jerry Rice and these guys had on the team. Like I always thought that way. Like, all right, well, Steve Young's X age, probably got 4 more years of Steve. You know, what do they need to do to be competitive while Steve's around? I've always thought that way. And that's the way that I think now. I always have, like, yes, right now is super important. It's the most important thing, but we can't go crazy now and forego the future or not look at what's coming in the near future. We have to be able to forecast what this team's going to look like and how do we remain competitive for years to come. And I feel like that's not a topic of conversation in the community very often. And so when somebody like me points it out, I don't think people are used to that. And I feel like it's something that needs to be a part of the conversation more. I feel like you guys are owed that from the community. And when I say community, I mean content creators. I feel like you guys are owed that honesty. I feel like you guys are owed, hey, when this move is made, this is the consequences of it. When Eric Armstead reworked his deal last year, I said, this is not a good idea. His contract is up after the 2023 season. You can just let him go. This is not a good idea, because now you're guaranteed that you have to keep him through the 2024 season. And if you don't, you're going to pay out the wazoo for it. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. Da, 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 da. Well, they're paying for it. And instead of letting him go, they, as a free agent and just walk, they're going to pay 2 years in a row against the salary cap for him not to be on this roster. I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot of honesty sometimes. I think it's funny because, people say, oh, if you want to get a quick view or a quick click, just be negative. And I think generally that does play. I do. I think that generally does play. I think negative headlines play. I think fear mongering through the news plays. I do believe that. But I think when it comes to sports, what I've realized is, especially when you're a content creator for one individual team, like I am with the 49ers, I don't think that plays. I think people use sports as an outlet to have something positive happen. I think a lot of people are really going through it in life and they want fun, positivity, put life and its problems on hold, and they want to hear the positive. And so to me, I actually think being overly positive sells in this community. I feel like being overly positive sells in this community more than being negative. And I think when you look at the allocation of subscribers and where they are at on channels, I think it backs that up. I think it backs it up. But I don't think that's honesty. I don't think that's giving it to you real and letting you know what's going to happen. You know how many times I heard this offseason that this was the best roster the 49ers have or have had in the Shanahan era? You know how many times I heard that? You know how easy it would be to just sit up here and tell you day after day that the problem is everything but Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan, and we've got an elite quarterback and things are going to be fine. Things are going to be good the next 3 years. Don't worry, guys. We've got an elite quarterback. You just pay him. Things are going to be fine. They got plenty of money this next offseason, which on the surface is true, but when you really dig a little bit deeper is not at all true. When you look at all the free agents that they have, so easy. I would have so many more views if that's the approach that I took. I have so many people in my DMs pissed at me at all times. All time. I've got friends or people that I thought were my actual friends that I've met in person in this community, met in person, broke bread with, right? Shook their hand, who don't mess with me because of my takes on the 49ers. Can you believe that? That's real. That is very, very real. So yeah, I think the easier path is to sit up here and act like everything's good and lie and just tell you how great everything is. I think that's the easier path to success. And I'll tell you what, as far as backlash goes, it's certainly a lot easier to float through this and be positive and not have people hate you. I'm just not built that way. I can't do it. I can't do it. I should, probably should. I mean, I don't even do this full time. This is a side, started out as a side fun thing for me and has gotten pretty decent as like a side hustle, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I never thought that I'd have 26,000 subscribers and sponsors and come on, that's crazy. That's not what I got into it for. And it's not my main source of income. So to take like all this like hate and this vitriol over football opinions, it'd be a lot easier to just be positive. Tell you it's all going to be good. And apparently have fake friends through, the 49ers and break bread with these people and think everything's good because I'm just always saying good things about the 49ers. I just can't do it. Sorry. I can't do it. It's not going to be me. So there's a little peel behind the curtain as far as how crazy things can get. Angel says, would Brock Purdy and Ben Johnson would be a deadly combination? Um, yeah, I think so. I think so. Especially if you got an offensive line. I think it's tough though because Ben Johnson, I love Ben Johnson, but there's just no guarantee he's going to be a good head coach. There's no guarantee he's going to be a good head coach. Great play caller though. If he was just the offensive coordinator of this team, man, that'd be fun. Jesse, that is soft by 49er fans. Face the music, Niner fans. The run is over, and Jesse speaks the truth. Yeah, and listen, I'm not. I also want to say this: just because I say what's on my mind doesn't make it right either. Like I'm not claiming that I'm right. That's not the point of it. I'm just claiming the way that I see this team. I'm giving it to you in genuine fashion. I'm telling you exactly how I feel. I don't pull punches. And it's not popular. And I understand that. I'm fine with the backlash. I just think that it is easier, especially if this is your bread and butter, this is your living, to take the easy path and be positive all the time and always putting a positive spin on things. I think your mental health is better for it because you don't have people wanting to crush you at every turn. I think the team is favorable to it. So if you're trying to get in with the team, you want to interview players, you want to get credentialed, that's the path you take. And I'm not mad at anybody for doing that. This is their living. Who am I to tell other people how to make a living? This is what they rely on. I don't rely on this for my income. So it is easy for me to say, like, I mean, I'm just being real here, but that's not the easy path. I don't know. I just don't agree with it. You know how many times behind the scenes I've been told by people, that's not my real opinion. I don't really believe that after a show's over. That's not how I really feel, but that's what I got to say because that's the easier way to go. I've been told that multiple times actually. Adam K says there's no way we can justify paying Purdy anywhere near 40 to 60 million. No rush to extend him next year. Let's see how we perform next year. Yeah, that's kind of my point. Especially with the injury. He's been hurt every single year. Every single year that he's been in the league so far. Different severity, obviously, but yeah, I think I don't see a problem with waiting for a year. Hugo says, I'll break bread with you 1 hour away from boneless pizza. Nice. Nice. Chargers are up 7-0. Ooh, I got to go watch this game with my son. He's going to be frustrated probably. Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure. You're right about that. You're right about that. Jesse, here, fun question for you. But if you did a private 1 hour interview with Jed York and then Kyle's dad, Mike Shanahan, what would you ask them? Mhm. I don't think I would have a lot of questions. I think I would want to know if Jed truly, I want a lie detector test too. I want a lie detector test to be involved. Is Jed York truly about winning a Super Bowl? Or is he happy just making money? That would be one. Mike, I would ask, if he was the head coach of the 49ers, what would he do differently than what Kyle's done? And then I would ask him, what are Kyle's shortcomings? Like, as his dad, what are his personality flaws? What are his characteristic flaws? And then what would he do differently? And I'm sure there's more, but that's really all I care about in this moment. Do you think we will see another Super Bowl win? Realistically, we're waiting 50 years. There is no way we end up like Buffalo, Atlanta, Detroit, etc. Right? We keep knocking. I don't know. I mean, at least we've got the rings, but I don't know. I would like to think no, but I mean, it's been 30. It's been 30. Is there a guarantee that they win one in the next 20? Knowing that this window is likely closed and they've got to climb that mountain again as far as retooling a roster? I don't know. I hope not. I don't know that I'll be alive in 20 years. Did he run it in? Gosh, dang it. I'm playing against him in fantasy. I need Herbert to be very mediocre right now. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Oh man, I'm projected to win by 0.07. I have nobody going. He has Herbert. Ugh, that's not good. That's not good. Oh, jeez. I need to win for first place too. Not good. I need Herbert to be very mediocre tonight. So I need for you to wish with me that Herbert's mediocre. Yeah, this is my one money league I do. I've been doing it for almost 20 years. Yeah, this is my one. So anyways, all right, I'm going to go watch this Ravens game with my son. Hopefully he doesn't lose his mind if the Ravens lose, which is very possible. Um I hope that one of us in this household has a good season and is happy. And if it's not going to be me, he also can't have a crappy season. That'd be a very sad household when it comes comes to football. I hope that it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. All right, y'all. Have a blessed day. I'll be back tomorrow night, actually, behind enemy lines. Late tomorrow night, behind enemy lines, around 11 p.m. Eastern, actually. So we'll see you then. Talk soon. Peace.